I told you so files. The state of California is now moving to mandate that kindergarten teachers teach 5-year-olds 15 different genders in every single California kindergarten school. 15 different genders being presented to 5-year-olds. Talk a little bit about this story.
Yeah, so this is the update to their health education framework. And I mean, people need to look through the materials here that we've talked about. You have stuff like teaching the kids that adults guess what gender a baby is because babies can't talk. It is absolute insanity masquerading as education.
So before I continue, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessing to you brothers that push this word in all sincerity and in all truth. Right, but I walk from the GMS Trinidad camp, coming to the spirit and power of Ba'ashem Yashai to do a lesson. Hopefully it will be edifying to you brothers and you sisters out there. Right, and as you can see thus far in the video, the heading is California to teach kindergartners there are 15 genders. Right? There are 15 genders. So without further ado, I'll continue the video so you can hear what's going on.
Adults guess what gender a baby is because babies can't talk. It is absolute insanity masquerading as education, and it's sick.
So to make sure we understand what's happening here, the state of California has recommended, and when California recommends something, that means they want it in there. They've recommended a book for 5-year-olds to begin to comprehend the complicated nature of gender. As a matter of fact, in this book, you're teaching 5-year-olds 15 different gender variants. The title of the book, by the way, is called Who Are You? Inside the book, they say, quote, for some people, there are more than just 2 choices. These are a few of the words people use, and you're exposing 5-year-olds to these kinds of gender differentiations: trans, genderqueer, non-binary, gender fluid, transgender, gender neutral, agender, neutrois, bigender, third gender, two-spirit, whatever the hell that means, and even more words on the word salad spectrum. These are neutrois, bigender, third gender, two-spirit, whatever the hell that means, and even more words on the word salad spectrum. These are kids that cannot read. These are kids who don't understand the biological underpinning of masculine and feminine or male and female. These are kids who are simply basically trying to come to grips with their own physicality in terms of their bodies. Their minds have not developed abstract thinking yet, and yet you're going to hit them with things like bigender, two-spirit gender, agender. This is an impossibility for little kids. You are doing nothing at age 5, but putting words in their heads, forcing them to understand things that adults only understand. You're guiding them along a path of indoctrination that is staggeringly inappropriate.
Yeah, well, that's the insanity that we're dealing with now, and we see that it's very effective.
And if I can say this, that the same thing with the slave master did. Because Esau's whole kingdom is a homosexual kingdom. Right? Esau's kingdom made of a homosexuality. Right? Esau adverse to everything the Most High stand for, Yahweh Shem Yashai. Right? Let me get a precept in Thessalonian. Right? So while Yahweh Shem Yashai stands for man with a woman, right? As nature could show you, Esau, on the other hand, contrary to the Lord. So like, yeah, I'm just... Esau is contrary to what Yahweh Shai stands for. Esau contrary to what Yahweh Shai stands for, which is what? A man for woman. Right? So everything Yahweh Shai stand for, Esau had to be the opposite. Right? So this is the book of Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse Verse 4. It says, who opposed it and exalted himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right? And Esau basically, the so-called white man, exalting himself as if he's God. We trying to do? We trying to change around everything that the Lord set in place. Right? And I will get at it. This is the book of Daniel chapter 7 and verses 25. Right? Because Esau, this is the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So yes, this is their kingdom. They rule in this end. But ultimately Abba Hashem Yeshua is the ruler of this earth. Right? But the enemy just get time to rule. Right? And that is the fear. And they say Abba Hashem Yeshua. Yahweh Hashem Yeshua gave all nations, plenty of these nations to rule over the children of Israel. Right? But now when we kingdom ruling now, kingdom be ruling righteousness forever and ever, even forever. Alright? But the way Esau doing, it says, and he, Daniel 7 and 25 says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And that is exactly what Esau doing. This is what exactly Esau doing, the so-called white man currently, right now. This is what he doing. He trying to break down the Most High, the children of the Most High. Right? That is he main objective, is to destroy. It says, where are the saints of the Most High, and think to change time, where they do that, and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time, and dividing of time. Excuse me. Right? So that, hey, that is what Esau doing. Right? He wearing all this, the Most High saints. Right? And he trying to change time. He trying to change it into his own twist, and that the new world, that part of the new world order. That is the reason why they starting with the young kids, so they install it, they could program them and install it in them at an early age, right? So the whole mind and the character could be twisted, right?
With now, and we see that it's very effective. If you look at, we covered at the Freedom Project in the Newman Report, we covered a study out of the UCLA where more than 25% of California children between 12 and 17 are now gender non-conforming. So they're not comfortable, they don't identify with their biological gender. So I guess they thought 27% was not enough, and so they want to start early in kindergarten with this 15 different gender thing. But as soon as the next revision comes around, 15 will be outdated. That'll be discriminatory, and then we'll be off to 68 or a million. That's the insanity that we're dealing with.
According to California's new law, if they pass it, moms and dads will be utterly unable to opt their kids out of this. You will not be able to hold your 5-year-old kindergarten kid home if they're teaching 15 genders. You're going to have to, under the peril of the law, compel your kids to attend this.
That's right, and in fact, that's the situation now in Orange County, one of the most conservative counties in California. We covered this also at the Newman Report. They said that parents may not opt their children out of instruction on the homosexuality, the transgender.
So it's a must. Esau make it a must for you to get your into that. It's a must. You can't hide, you can't, because if you try that way, you feel the way do. They're going to lock you up, they're going to take your children away from you. Right? So the system raising the children for you. Esau raising your kids for you. For them to become what they want them to become. Right? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
genderism, the new families and all that kind of stuff. And people need to look through this. So what it is in addition to insanity, it's a direct assault on the fundamental building block of civilization, which is the family.
It used to be that parents had the final say. Now we've moved from parental consent to parental mandates. That as parents, you will subject your kids to this kind of stuff. We know better than you do. And when it comes to radical sexual politics, don't forget, Alex, we talked just the last time we were together about how California has among the lowest performing literacy rates.
That's right. It is a tragedy of monumental proportions. And the government's own data shows that more than half of California's children cannot read, even at a proficient level. Less than 1/4 of black boys in California in the government school system can read at a proficient level. And here they are worrying about how they're going to teach them about 15 genders in kindergarten. They ought to be figuring out how to teach these poor kids to read. But unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing. We're just seeing, again, the destruction of civilization, the destruction of education, all being done under the guise of education.
Book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 6 says, and moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Right? So the place of wickedness, this earth right now is filthy. By the hands of Esau, everything is being turned upside down. Right? These things, this prophecy, these things must be fulfilled. Right? Then they should know that, the end is here. Esau is a vile creature. Right? Esau doing his job. So as men of the Lord, we have to do ours also. Right? So that I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, double honor to the apostles of great men, so that rule well. Peace and blessing to you, brothers, precious, with the sincerity and in truth. Shalom.